On this day in Louisville, Kentucky, these 8 men went to camp to speak the words of the Most High Power. And as they had done countless times before, but on this day, they were attacked by a vile mob of heathens and sinful men who sought to take their lives and stop them from raising up the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel.
That's right.
However, in accordance to their training and the love that they had for one to another, they fought their attackers side by side.
That's right.
Shoulder to shoulder.
Right.
On to death if necessary.
That's right.
And at the end of the conflict, they prevailed and returned to their homes and to their brethren and their wives and their children. All was lost except one thing they brought back. They brought back the Bible.
That's right.
And delivered it back to this nation.
That's right.
Shalom, Israel. You know what it is. This is Kentucky 8 Podcast. Turn down, but Shalom, Israel. You know what time it is. Kentucky 8 Radio. Man, we got a crazy good story today. So much been going on. I titled today's class or today's podcast Asian Persuasion. Why did I title it Asian Persuasion? Because if I didn't know no better, we as a people would be persuaded to become Asian. And what I'm speaking on is the tragedy that happened in Atlanta. We're gonna go over the story. Georgia spa shootings. Suspect officially charged after 8 people killed at 3 businesses. Most victims were Asian. Let's check it out.
Times where the rug is really pulled out from underneath you. And I think that this is one of those times.
You feel numb because there's just been so much going on within our community all over, not just the US, but even the world. And it's kind of morbid, but you're thinking it was just a matter of time for it to happen down the street from you.
Being Asian American, whether or not the attack was directed towards you, it's one of those things where if somebody in your community is affected, you feel the brunt of that too.
The normalization of the hypersexualization of Asian American women, or Asian women in general, that's rooted in imperialism and colonialism, really helps to facilitate and creates a breeding ground for increased sexualized violence against Asian women.
The murderer pretty much said that it was because of his sex addiction and it wasn't racially fueled, but there's obviously a connection and they're not mutually exclusive.
My mom is a Korean American woman who had a small business, and so she's in that arena. And a lot of my friends' parents are in that situation too. So for me, it's more of the parents' generation and our families that I'm really thinking about in this situation.
I certainly think that it's a moment where people are really coming together. I mean, that's been my experience today, is that people are coming together to respond.
I am Korean, but I didn't need to know that for me to care. I didn't need to know that for me to feel hurt and pain as if it was a family member of mine or a friend, because as Asian Americans, or as Asians, as minorities, we understand the perspective that is put upon us when white supremacy is the framework of how everything's built. So it's a shared trauma and it's a shared burden.
All right. You heard what's been going on. You heard what's been going on. The age there was basically a devil went into an Asian club. And it's funny, what strikes me the most is, for all these years, these so-called massage parlors have been able to run prostitution rings illegally in the United States for years without a problem. Without a problem. They've been allowed to break all sorts of laws. Asians are allowed to break all types of immigration policies, break all types of rules when it comes to immigrating or visiting, passports, rules, regulations, all the illegal immigrants that come through in those massage parlors. They've been allowed to run along. They've been allowed to flourish. Okay, with no problem whatsoever. The government, the city, the police, nothing comes after them. And it strikes me how they're trying to get to the bottom of it, and they're saying how much it hurts. But these are the same people. These are the same people that didn't give not 1 ounce of support to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans across the world. Period. Period, point blank. These are the same people who open up businesses in black communities and don't give back a dime to the black communities. These are the same people that open up businesses in South America and treat the South American brothers, our Hispanic brothers, like total garbage. Molested, rape their women, and treat them like total garbage in South America. These are the same ones. But yet today, they want all types of sympathy for this tragedy that has happened to them. And it is a tragedy, a mass shooting. This is something that black people and Hispanics and Native Americans have been dealing with for 400 years without a country to back us up. Without all these spokespeople to back us up and to actually make a difference of what's going on. Come talk to me when these Asians gone through 400 years without getting any justice. Talk to me then. Let's get a scripture. Jeremiah 48:16. The calamity of Moab is near to come. What's calamity? Calamity is their problems. This is just the beginning. These type of racially motivated attacks are going to happen across the world. Are going to keep happening across America for sure. The calamity of Moab is near to come, and his affliction hasteth fast. What's his affliction? being blamed for bringing the coronavirus around the world, being blamed for all the wickedness. Being blamed for all these problems from the coronavirus, mainly spreading it. I mean, getting blamed for all this. This is the beginning of their affliction. It's not going to stop. This isn't going to end. It ain't about to all go away. This is just the beginning. I'm gonna get the scripture to prove it for you, because the Lord is getting these things is happening because the Lord is gonna push them out of this country and push all these different nations back to their own land. That's what the scriptures say. Let's get in the scripture. Give me 1 sec. Isaiah chapter 13. All right. Verse Isaiah 13 and 14. And it shall be as the chased roe, that's a deer being chased, and as a sheep that no man taketh up. They shall every man turn to his own people and flee every one into his own land. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through. What is that talking about? People are going to be going back to their homelands because of this racism, because of this white supremacy, because of what's going on in this country, the unrest. People are going to start going back to their home countries. And the ones who don't go back to their own people, if they get found, what does it mean found? It means they're with other races of people. They may be thrust through. They're sitting there hanging out with these different races and everything like that. They're going to get thrust through because it's always race. It's always about your race, your family, your nation, your tribe. All those things matter. You understand? Even though this kingdom tries to make it seem like those things don't matter, all those things matter. Those things matter. All right. Don't listen to this kingdom and try to tell you your race doesn't mean anything. Apparently, it means everything. You can live or die based on your race. Look what happened here. Let's get more at Jeremiah. All ye that are about him, bemoan him, and all ye that know his name, say, how is the strong staff broken, and the beautiful rod? Like I said, they come in this country and have free reign on tons of businesses, tons of opportunities, schools. They get every minority thing that we fought for. They get it. And they don't get none of the bad things about it. The police ain't hunting down Asians. Police ain't pulling over Asians and checking their IDs and checking their tags and their tickets and their insurances and everything. Police ain't doing that. Police aren't shutting down. The cities aren't shutting down Asian businesses. Cities aren't doing that. They are doing that to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. So you need to know that they don't have it rough they don't have it hard like us. They're not the children of Israel. So, but they're getting all our benefits. That's where there's a problem. Let's get more on the story. And one more thing. All these evil things of this kingdom is basically coming home to roost. These spies Okay, these spas that these Asians have all across the country. I'm talking all across the country. Damn near every city, every state. They're allowed to basically run prostitution rings out of them. Everybody done heard of it. So-called happy endings. When has you ever seen the government try to shut these things down? You never seen it. But it's illegal. In about 49 of the 50 states. And these Asians, and see, all this wickedness that they allowing to happen is coming back to bite them. All this wickedness that America is allowing to come back to bite them. Let's get on. Let's see some more. Yep, it's coming back to bite them. Suspect charged with killing 8 in Atlanta area shootings that targeted Asian-run spas. Matter of fact, let's get the truth about the matter. Let's get the truth about the matter about what's been going on with these so-called spas. They're calling these things spas, huh? Get it. Here we go, right here. We'll see how this works. This video is called How Chinese Prostitution Works. Look at that. They're parading them in. This is what got shot up right here.
Prostitution is a very important and large part of Chinese culture and society. Prostitution, the oldest profession in the world. Now, it doesn't matter if you are for prostitution, against it, or just ambivalent. That's not what this video is about. This video is about the glaring hypocrisy of the Chinese government and Chinese society. Because in China, not only is pornography illegal, but prostitution is also very, very illegal, with very harsh punishments. The very strange thing is, even though it is so harshly against the law, I have never seen prostitution so openly out in public anywhere else in the world, barring perhaps those seedy red light districts in places like Thailand. Business meetings and deals are settled with a trip to the brothel. Friends hang out, have a couple of drinks, and then head to the brothel. Rural families sell their daughters into prostitution in order to support themselves. Businessmen fly in from Hong Kong, Japan, Taiwan, Korea, and other countries nearby China in order to engage in prostitution. Entire economies and cities are built around prostitution in China too. Now,
this is who what was going on with. Hey, shalom, mighty man.
Hey, shalom, Yabashbrakatah.
I was just schooling the people on these same people that we're trying to mourn over, that we're mourning over. Supposedly, the whole world's supposed to be mourning over these Asians that were shot and killed. I'm just bringing out what was really going on. We're bringing it out in the video. prostitution is a part of Chinese and Asian culture. So these massage parlors that America lets run all over the world, unabridged, they're not stopping them. They got illegal immigrants in them. They're doing illegal prostitution. I don't see them pulling over these Asians. I don't see them knocking down the doors of these Asian shops.
Right.
I didn't see them do none of these things. But these Asians, they want to claim the minority benefits, but they're not getting they're not getting treated like blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans in America.
Right.
You have anything you want to say about it?
Yeah, kind of, if I could. And I haven't read the story. I don't know the details about it, but this is what I do know. These people have never cared about the oppression, about the hatred, about anything that goes on with black people. They don't, stand with us, even though marching don't mean a thing. They don't march with us. They don't rally behind us. So for us to get all up in arms and say, oh, the poor Asians this, the poor Asians that, remember that next time one of these sisters go into the store and get her ass whooped in this hair shop and nail shop. Like our sisters, repeatedly didn't got their ass beat in these shops, and the Asians ain't gave a damn about it. So, from my standpoint, this to me is a non-factor. It's a non-event. It's like, so what? Who cares? That's how they treat us. So that's how I feel about them.
Exactly. See the rest of this video, learn about what they've been doing.
In most societies, if you're not interested in prostitution, you can avoid it. However, in China, prostitution is so normal and so in your face that you will never be able to avoid it. You will never be able to avoid at least knowing that it's there, lurking around the corner. I'm going to start out with prostitute cards. Now, living in Shenzhen, a very civilized and very modern city in China, I was quite appalled when my very expensive and very posh apartment complex that I lived in would allow, well, I guess they didn't allow it, but it happened anyway, would allow people to put prostitute cards under my door. Now, every other night I would receive 2 or 3 business card looking things, with pornographic photos on them and numbers to call and offers of different kinds of services. Now, it kind of boggled my mind how in a country where prostitution is illegal and can lead to some very harsh punishments, that people would so flagrantly and openly advertise an illegal service. Because look, there's no going two ways about it. What's written on these cards is an advert for prostitution. We're going to translate one of these cards in a minute, but I just wanted to first show you how ridiculously abundant these adverts for sex are on the streets of China. I mean, you sometimes just find these cards littered on the street. Tons of prostitute cards with pornographic images. When I was teaching kindergarten, I took the kids to the park for a walk, and the kids were picking up these cards and showing them to me. It's just everywhere. Not only the cards on the ground, but the stickers on the signposts that advertise.
And if I could, these are the same people that black people wanted to be like. Back in the 80s and 90s and 70s, Bruce Lee, you couldn't stop a nigga saying Bruce Lee wasn't the baddest man alive.
Right.
They done had so many. They saying Bruce Lee kicks so fast and he's faster than the eye could see, and he do a 2-finger punch and knock you across the floor or knock you across the room.
Right.
And these are the people that we wanted to be. We looked up to. And this is their culture. They're disgusting people. They have a disgusting culture and a disgusting way of life. And for black people to follow them and to think they're so healthy and they're so wise and what's wise about passing around every STD in town? What's wise?
Right.
Where's the wisdom in that?
And if I could, I'm
Go,
sure
go ahead, warrior.
they got proverbs. I'm sure they got some ancient Chinese proverbs against that they should be spewing. You understand? They got all these wise sayings. What about clean the whores up off your streets? How about that? How about they start there instead of, people always looked at them as, an ancient society and wisdom. This right here is, like you said, it's not wisdom. It's not cleanliness. It's, it's filth and disgusting is what it is.
Right. They're supposed to be the health people of the world. They so healthy. But they have they said the people in the rural areas sell their daughters to the cities to be prostitutes, to make money. And it's part of their culture is normal. But these are the people we're supposed to follow and honor, and they're so amazing. Look at Wesley Snipes. He went all in. He went and married him an Asian, if I'm not mistaken. Brother swear that karate is the most amazing thing you could learn on the planet Earth. I ain't seen not one karate champ. I seen one karate champion in the fighting, in real fighting, and he got beat down by a nigga. He got choked so bad, nigga, he fell asleep in the middle of the ring.
Right.
If people don't know, John Jones put what's that cat's name? He's a karate champion. From Brazil. Well,
Machida,
Leo Machida.
Mm-hmm.
The black man went up there and whooped his ass.
Mm-hmm.
They got movies with Ip Man fighting, going toe to toe with Mike Tyson.
Right.
And you got black people actually thinking like, yeah, Ip Man could really probably hang. He could probably really beat Mike Tyson if he really wanted to.
Right.
I'll whoop Ip Man's ass. Come on, man. What the hell are you talking about? Asians don't know how to fight. If you watch all the Asian fighters, all their stances, they fight with their hands down by their waist, which is one of the dumbest fighting stances you can ever come to. Your face is wide open. Mm-hmm. That's why they all get their faces beat to pulp. Because they fight with their hands down. No boxing whatsoever. They had a boxing champion go against Floyd Mayweather. This champion was in his prime. Floyd Mayweather went in there 2 rounds, made that boy cry.
Tears.
Made that motherfucker cry.
And Floyd was done. Floyd was at the end of his career.
Man, Floyd barely busted a sweat.
Yeah.
He barely busted a sweat. And this is Moab, y'all talking. Y'all don't know. The scripture says Moab is the Lord's wash pot.
Right.
He throw a shoe at him. Something like that. Like these are a wash pot, nasty, dirty people, man. They full of germs, man. Right. Why do you think they was walking around with masks 100 years ago because it was so damn germy over there and diseased. Right. With the SARS and everything.
And if I could.
Go ahead, Warrior.
Yeah, I always tell people to look this up. It was like a news thing or some kind of documentary they did. I think it was in Korea, South Korea, maybe. It was one of those countries overseas, and I tell this story all the time. How it was a Asian reporter. He was going around and he was asking the Asians what they thought about black people, and basically the consensus was, we're good, athletic, but not very bright, not very smart. Prone to commit violence and stuff like that. So their impression of us is, a very low one. right? They don't think highly of us at all. They don't, have any, like I was saying earlier, they don't have feelings for us. If anything, they have disdain. They're like, yo, these is just a bunch of monkeys. And you can go and Google those commercials that they did where they put a black dude, I don't know if he was an African, but a dark-skinned person, right, was trying to get with a little Asian chick. She put his black ass in the washer. He came out, high yellow like a Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
And like he was too filthy. So they think that you just filthy and dumb and ignorant and stupid and a good athlete, and that's about all you good for.
Mm-hmm. And I still never gonna forgive them how they did Muhammad Ali Jr. in that show Baki.
Right.
I never forgive them for that. They know they wrong for that. Ain't no way blacks ain't dominate over there in fighting.
Right.
You look at Quentin Rampage Jackson, one of the first brothers over there. He was dominating them.
Right.
He was putting them Asian boys through the earth, through the damn boxing ring. He was putting them through the ring.
Right.
You serious? So let's see some more about this great Asian culture that everybody says is so great and amazing in the black community. We think they so great. We go get the hair from them. We go get food from them. They're gods in the black community.
Right.
Prostitution, you can find them everywhere in public, and you can find them in the local markets where you've got the grandparents and the grandchildren shopping. It's really that out in the open. In fact, myself, C-Milk, and a subscriber had a little competition when we went to a third-tier city. We checked into a hotel, went out to get dinner, and we made bets on who would have the most prostitute cards shoved under their door. So, guys, we're about to head to the next room to find out how many cards. Well, C-Milk won the bet, and let's just say that there were so many of these prostitute cards underneath our doors that we could actually make it rain. I just want everybody to realize that the majority of these girls have no choice. This is an illegal enterprise in China. A lot of them are either tricked or coerced into being prostitutes.
And it's illegal in America. Those massage parlors are illegal. They are illegal, people. They should not be there. They don't have
at least the happy ending parts.
Yeah. They have all type of illegal workers. They're not up to code. They're not up to the new standards of massages. None of that. That's why the dude who went in there and shot up the place said he was addicted to sex. They wasn't doing massages. They was giving sex. They're doing this all across the country. But they want sympathy from black people. When the black man walk across the street and the police put a bullet in his head because he jaywalking. But you can have a whole illegal enterprise in the whole damn country, which makes me think, what else is illegal about you? That the government, United States government, is allowing. They allow you to have illegal prostitution. They must be allowing you to not have to do all the damn cleanliness tests and keep your restaurants up to code either. Officer Trop dropped something heavy on me one time. Shout out to Officer Trop. Back when we was rocking and rolling, he said, because in black we had a black restaurant, a black food spot we went to, and we was like, where's your seats and stuff and your tables, man? We trying to sit down and eat. He said, well, the city said I can't have none unless I have a public bathroom. I said, huh? There ain't not an Asian store in America that got a public bathroom, but they got tons of sitting chairs and everything. Officer Trop laid it on me, said they're taught when you go in there, you say, hey, I need to use the bathroom. They taught to say the bathroom's broke. That's what they automatically say. The bathroom's broke. That's what they'll tell you. And they're lying. They just don't want a dirty black, Hispanic, or Native American using their bathroom. So we going all in. Today's Kentucky 8 podcast today is called Asian Persuasion. Because if you let it, should we be persuaded to be Asians in this place? If you got anything, go ahead, drop it anytime, or I'm gonna play some more of the video.
Okay.
And that is why I'm making this video. We need to raise awareness. It is the common folk of China who are the victims here, specifically girls from rural areas. And I have a story of a Chinese prostitute. When I first got to China, I was broke. I ran out of my savings in about a month.
And if I could, they're also starving them Chinese women. They starve them in those sex shops, them sex massage parlors, so they can stay skinny. Yeah, that's what goes on in that's Asian culture. All right, let's watch the rest.
I didn't know what I was doing. I just came over and I was trying to look for work. I ended up on the street for a couple of days and I met a couple of guys who were super nice and let me stay with them in the red light district of Shenzhen, a scummy urban village called Shazwei. Now, inside Shazwei, which means sandmouth, there were just prostitutes lining the streets. I used to go out at night and just take photos. It was something I'd never seen before. It was quite crazy. But Shazwei was known
He
as
looked like he
one of
had a
the
good
larger
time.
red light districts of
He
Yeah, he
sampled
did.
for sure.
Yeah, he did. He sure didn't look like he was suffering too bad with all the prostitutes around.
Yeah, right.
We'll go back to that. He looked like he probably, yeah. He don't look like he that appalled with all the prostitution.
Right.
It was something I'd never seen before. It was quite crazy. But Shazwei was known as one of the larger red light districts of Shenzhen, and I would often see people coming in from Hong Kong specifically to come and visit the prostitutes there. And it was one of many. I mean, let's not beat around the bush, especially back when I first got to China in Shenzhen. It was very well known for being a hotspot for prostitution. And there were plenty of these so-called Arnai-Twins, which means a second wife village, because rich or even middle-class people from Hong Kong would come over and sort of have a mistress and keep them in these villages and pay for their apartments and so on. Anyway, this is where I met Little Moon, or Xiao Yue. Now, Xiao Yue was a prostitute. And this is what showed me the very dark side of China. And this really rocked me to my core. So let me set this up for you. I was living in this red light district in a very ratty handshake apartment, basically pit toilet in the corner of the room type thing. 7 flights of stairs you have to go up, no elevators, no air conditioning, just tile floors and concrete walls. And it was really a very, very bad place to live. But, beggars can't be choosers. Anyway, the fact of the matter is a lot of the apartments had been converted into brothels in these apartment blocks in this tiny little urban village. And what would happen is at night, you would hear these pitter-patter of shoes and high heels and stuff, and you'd look out the window and you'd see, approximately 20 to 30 women all going into one building. And what they'd do is they'd go up into the brothel where obviously the client would choose which one they wanted. And then you'd see a bunch of disappointed ones leaving the building afterwards. Now, the apartment that I was staying in, my Chinese friend's girlfriend, I found out was a prostitute, because when the call went out, she would leave and join these girls and rush into an apartment. I spoke to him about it and he confirmed it. He had met her in a karaoke bar, because a lot of karaoke bars were situated within this little village as well. And she was a prostitute, and that's how he met her, because he went and got her services, and then they kind of hit it off and I guess started living together. But the worst.
And then when you think about it also, when the Asians running all these hair stores and stuff like that, what type of clothing are they selling? When you go in those beauty supply stores, what type of clothing and attire is being sold out of there? It's prostitute clothes, clothes for whores, leggings, fishnet stockings, big, certain type of jewelry, sexual big wigs and stuff like that. All these type of things, these scantily clad outfits, high heels, The strap up all the way up your leg, all the way up the women's thighs. The Asians is pushing the prostitution culture in America to black people. You go to them Asian clothing stores, it got nothing but whorish outfits. And don't even get on the East Coast. On the East Coast, you look in the store, it look like it is a whore, like you think it's costume store.
Right.
Cause they got the nurse outfit, they got the little pink outfit, they got the maid outfit. It's like, damn, is this a costume store? Right. But no, they selling that to black women to walk around in.
You know, it's crazy too. Is they this is their own, you know, they're doing it to their own people. It's like when you look at our oppression over here, it's like it's another nation that's, you know, driving us low. Not making an excuse, but you know, people turn to crime and prostitution and everything else when they poor. And that's done to us by another nation. Their own people, they're doing it to their own people. So they have no one to blame but themselves because of the greed of within their own people. That's why, you know, they're destroyed. It's because their own people. You know, we can say, you know, we're being oppressed and destroyed by another nation. They just filthy and nasty.
Damn right. Let's get the rest of the video.
First part of it all was the girl was only 19 years old. She was a really sweet, lovely girl, and she would clean the apartment in the day, and she would pickle her vegetables and do all that kind of thing. And she was really a sweet girl, but very uneducated, very rural. And what had happened was her family in Hunan, where she was from, had sold her to the pimp. And she could buy herself out of the contract if she worked hard enough. Of course, we all know this never really turns out well. But the worst part of it all, honestly, was the fact that the majority of the money that she earned from her prostitution every month, she would send back to her family, the same family that sold her to the pimp, in order to pay for her brother's education. Because in rural China, having a son, a male heir, is far more important than having a female heir. And I really couldn't believe.
Whoa! Where all the feminist movement people at? Where all the women empowerment movement women? Where all the feminists at? They ain't saying nothing about this. See, they pick and choose who they want to fight and battle against. Yeah, the black man, he fair game. Oh, don't say nothing about the Asian man. You don't say nothing about how the Asian man doing.
Right.
They'll show all these images that women are being mistreated in these other countries. They ain't showing nothing about these Asian women.
Right. Where's the international outcry?
Right. They say the black man is being he can't tell the black women what to wear, this and that, but he ain't saying nothing about these Asian. They straight up selling women.
Right.
Selling their daughters and making them prostitute to pay for school for their other children. Right. But the feminists ain't said nothing. The LGBTQI trans community, who all about women's rights, where's their international movement to stop all these? How do they know? Since we know this, how many of them massage parlor women have been sold over here to America to prostitute in America to send money back to some Asian farmer so he can put his other child in school?
Right.
And that's, you can't say, oh, that's going on in another country. It's going on right here.
Right.
See how illegal and evil these other nations are operating right under our nose. Government don't have said nothing to say. Police, investigators, we're the FBI, we're the child trafficking or the trafficking investigation teams.
So they
too busy following niggas crossing the street.
Hey, I was gonna say they in there. They know about it because they in there. They in there getting that happy ending. They
Ap-
absolutely know about these.
apparently, that's apparently what's going on.
Right. It's no way that you done lived in America this long and not know that you go to these Asian shops and get happy endings and everything else you want if you got enough money. There's no way. Like that's common knowledge at this point. So if they ain't shut down every Asian massage parlor, it's because they don't want to.
Exactly. That's the point. For you, Black, Hispanic, and Native American man, woman, and child in America, it's not no equality. It never be no equality in here. They will let these other races do what they want to do. But you, black man, you getting arrested for selling a loose cigarette.
Right.
They straight up selling and they trafficking women all across the country in America. But black man, you was eyeballing a cop wrong. We're gonna have to beat your ass. We're gonna have to rough you up and arrest you and give you a charge. You owe a speeding ticket. We got to come after you. This is the reality. You think you living in America where they're trying to go against crime and this and that. They ain't trying to go against crime. They trying to go against you. Because look at the crime going on in the Asian community. Let's get the rest.
And if I could, Cap, before you get the rest, that's not the only thing illegal. They got all kind of illegal things going on in these Chinatowns. Like they don't, they skipping out on all kind of taxes in these Chinatowns because if you want a purse or a fake Louis Vuitton watch, a bag, anything like that, all you got to do is go down there, slide them $40-$50. This happened all the time, so it's no way that they can say they don't know about all this illegal selling going down here, right? They ain't collecting no taxes, and they ain't punishing, Moab over that kind of stuff either. They just letting them operate, right? They just kind of give him, like you said, there's no equality because Moab operates on his own terms in America. He could be, he could sell, cat, he could sell illegal, merchandise and not get taxed. He just does his own thing, you know what I mean?
Right. And the government doesn't do a damn thing about it.
Right.
But they come on TV say we need to be tough on crime.
Right.
They're tough on crime, though. But they let Chinatown run itself.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get more and see what else these Asians is doing.
This situation, I felt rocked to my core. I thought it was the most disgusting thing I'd ever heard or seen. That this woman, this sweet young girl, had been sold into prostitution by her family. I'm not even sure what age because she'd been doing it for a while. And she was using all the money that she earned through prostitution to pay for her brother's education. And mind you, pay for the rent for this ratty apartment that my friend was living in and I was now living in. It was horrible. Anyway, the situation, I got out of that situation. She disappeared. I don't know what happened to her. And I think about her a lot because I feel such a connection with the people of China that have to go through these horrible situations which are completely beyond their control. And that's why I'm making this video. Boy,
well, I'll tell you what, it's not beyond their control. They're controlling it plenty well. They're controlling it so well that they got it all the way over here in America.
That's for damn sure.
So let's see. Let's get some more.
Certainly do like to depress myself thinking about these things, but let's move on to translating one of those cards, shall we? Let's just pick this one that I took in fact, I took this photo in Xiaxia, which is another one of those urban villages in the wet market. And like I said, we had all sorts of, school children and stuff walking past, and there it is. Let's see what it says. So the big bold blue writing basically says Menu Shangmen Fu. Don't worry, my tones don't pay attention to my shitty Chinese, but it basically means beautiful girl, service to your door. what we can see below the phone number, it basically says, full service to your door. And then it has these different packages. So it has Kuaisan, which means fast food, which is 4 hours. And then it has Baoye, which means like overnight, basically for the whole night. And that's 10 hours.
And you see what people think, what people don't know is they bring this same shit over here to America. And we think it's, they're setting up so many massage parlors because they love massaging. That's just a good way they do the massages. They may do a happy ending here or there. Okay, over in China, they got the shit on the things. We'll come to your door, come to your house, it's 10 hours, 8 hours, just out on the street. Not even on, you gotta go to no website or the back page or nothing. You just walk down the street and you see it on the pole.
Right.
Like a damn burger commercial or a burger poster. So they bring that mindset over here to America. And they're trying to tell us they're doing massages everywhere.
Right.
With that type of mindset. It's baloney. You know what I mean? They're running illegal prostitution all over this country. But the real illegal immigrants. Them people is illegal as hell too. Let's get the rest.
Then it starts to list the types of women you can get. So the different women that you can choose from. Okay, the first one we have is a shaofu, which 22 to 28 year old young woman, basically. Next one we have is a shuishengmei, which means student. Student little sister, 17-year-old to 22-year-old. And then the next one we have here is not quite sure what this is, but it's a Bailing mortar, which means white collar model, 18 to 23-year-old. This is probably someone who, I don't know, has appeared in a magazine or something, or just some model or something. I don't really know, but let's look at the services, and that's what's in black down below. I can read these characters, but they don't really make a lot of sense to me. Well, at least they didn't in the beginning until I asked my Chinese friends. So now I will tell you what they mean. The first one there is binhuo, which means ice and fire. And what this is apparently a woman will give you a blowjob with cold water in her mouth. Then she puts hot water in her mouth and then cold water in her mouth, rinse and repeat, that type of thing. It's kind of weird. I don't really know. The next one, dulong, is...
Man, they got a whole ancient technique, boy. Damn. That's the ancient Chinese secret recipe.
Right. That shit it sounds crazy.
Hey, they said they got the the Chinese secrets.
Yeah, right.
Here they go.
I see.
We finding out all the secret Chinese secrets. Viewer discretion is advised for whatever else he about to read.
That's right.
Poison dragon, and this literally means that she will lick your anus. It's disgusting.
Damn.
But there it is on the sign.
These are the people we
love
love
to read about. The next one we have here is xiongtui, which basically just means boob job. And the next one, I'm still not 100% sure what this is. Shuijing Zhilian. It's a kind of candy in China. It's kind of like a gelatinous candy, so I guess it's got something to do with that. I don't really know. Okay, following that we have manyo, which I don't know, but I'm guessing it means they will travel with you or escort you. In other words, go out with you. Maybe if you need to go to a party or something, you need an escort. And finally, the last one on the list here is zhifu youhuo, which just is cosplay. So they'll dress up like I don't know, I guess a schoolgirl or something. Anyway, I mean, you get the idea. This is out in public. It's a huge thing in China. It's not being hidden at all, except, of course, in the official news. And the CCP loves to go and talk about how depraved Western nations are with their pornography and so on. But, here we are. Little kids can see this. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching this. Remember, the whole point of this is I want people to understand China better, see through the rhetoric and the propaganda and the bullshit out there, and know China for what it really is, and to raise awareness and give a voice to the people of China who simply have no voice and cannot speak. Until next time, guys, you know the drill.
Man, look what's going on in big trouble in Little China, man. Apparently, because man, what do you think about that?
I mean, I think just the points that we made earlier. There's no one. China can't blame America for that. They can't. They can't blame Japan. They can't blame Russia. The only people they can blame is themselves. They can provide something. They can give some alternatives to people being whore. I mean, it's utterly disgusting out there. And here's the beautiful thing about being an Israelite is I know one day we'll be responsible for cleaning all that up. And like there better not be one whore flyer out on the street or y'all not getting rice for a month. You know what I mean? We're gonna whip these nations into subjection and show them how to live and not be so utterly disgusting. While they think the lowest of us, we looking at this like, man, this is far beyond. You know what I mean? They just nasty all the way around. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And this is what the world has come to under a white man's rulership,
right?
And under these heathens' rulership. And these are the same people that black women getting all their hair, clothing, and all that from. They in that nail salon talking and getting all type of advice from these Asians. And look at the type of people they are. Let's get some of this story. Sheriff spokesperson replaced on shootings case. Biden orders flags to be flown at half staff. The presidential proclamation comes amid an escalating controversy over local law enforcement comments about the shooting suspect's possible motivation. Looked like a black guy that got made Massa mad.
I'd have to ask you about the horrific situation in your state, the murder sprees at the 3 separate spas, the murders of Asian women. What do you make so far of what the captured suspect has told investigators about what was his motive, and overall, what's the latest in that situation?
Well, it's heartbreaking, and my heart goes out to all of these families, and we ought to be praying for them with our lips, but also with our actions. We need a kind of active peace that stops these kinds of things as much as we can from happening in the first place. We'll hear, I guess, his explanation in the days ahead, but we know hate when we see it. We'll get into the nuances of it, but only hate drives you to take 8 precious lives in the way that he did. And I'm more interested in hearing the stories of the victims. That's really what we ought to be amplifying, their humanity, so that we can think about what we must do as a society to create what Dr. King called the beloved community.
These Christians, boy. If you wanna help them, shut down all the massage parlors with all this prostitution. It says a Georgia Sheriff's Office captain was replaced on Thursday as spokesman for investigation into the killings. Blah 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 blah. Cherokee County Communications Director Erica Nedler said in a statement that she would take over media inquiries related to the investigation of the Tuesday shooting, according to the Associated Press. Her statement didn't offer additional details into the status of Captain Jay Baker of the Cherokee County. It said by lawmakers for saying, he was panned on social media for saying that the suspect had a really bad day and that this is what he did because he had a bad day. So this is about that he had a bad day statement.
If I could.
Go ahead, warrior.
Yeah, they had to get that devil out of there because they know he was digging a ditch for the police department. Like he over there talking crazy, like, yeah, it's just another, just normal devil activity. Yeah, he just had a bad day. He just made some bad choices. Like General Muhammad say, what does a white man had to do to get arrested? Is like he had a bad day, really? He just murdered 8 people. I call that a little bit more than a bad day.
Right. And this is Whew, these people, they are insane people. They have no remorse for nobody else. They only care about their own. They are so racist that it's insane. Like, black people need to get a grip and understand what we're dealing with. We're dealing with a people that had that after 8 people murdered, it's chalked up to a bad day. And that's him being on in public. In private, he probably would have said, well, no, God knows what he would be saying and thinking and feeling in public, in private.
Right.
Because that's what you're saying out to everybody, then shoot, it's probably worse what you're really thinking.
Right.
He probably thinking, shoot, he should have got more than that. What gun was he using?
Right.
Did he have enough ammo? That's probably what he's really thinking. How did he get all the killings done, and all of that? And did he have any fun with the dead bodies and stuff? That's probably what he really thinking.
Yeah.
Because that's what type of people these people are.
He probably did one of these moves like score. You know what I mean? He doing that shit. He was geeking about it.
Yeah, so it's time for the Black, Hispanic, and Native American man to rise up, take our rightful place as rulers on this earth, so we can set this place right. Because obviously these heathens are all out of whack and discussing and breaking all the laws of the Lord, and we're following them.
Right.
We're following white culture. We're following Asian culture. So of course we're gonna be destroyed.
Right.
If the blind lead the blind, they both shall fall into a ditch. And that's us. We following these other races, and we falling into the ditch behind it.
Right.
So this is Kentucky 8 podcast. Officer on the pot side, you got any final remarks?
Hey, I would just tell, any so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American that, they're falling in love with Meghan Markle. They're falling in love with, these Asians that got, they got their life taken away from them. You falling in love with, just your oppressor in general. Take the blinders off your eyes, man. Realize that these people have never shown any iota of sympathy or compassion for you. Don't give your compassion to these nations. Give your compassion to your own people, the Lord's chosen people. And you'll see us rise up. And then these other nations, they'll have to follow us. We won't follow them. We won't, follow them in their whoredom and everything, every other filthy, disgusting thing that they do. We'll be the head and they'll be the tail.
Damn right. And that's the ultimate goal of the Israelite School of UPK. To teach us the law, statutes, commandments, so we can be the 144,000 rule over these nations. That's the rightful place of a black man. Black man is supposed to be over on top, supposed to be the head and not the tail.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's what the scriptures say. That's what God said. So we're supposed to be above all these nations. Look at the Asian. Now now you have a more of an understanding what the Asian culture and the Asian people are about.
Right.
Stop with all the magical coverings of the Kung Fu and the wise and the Confucius and the Buddhists and all this nonsense. They just out there fucking hoes.
Right.
That's what they're really doing. That's all they're doing out there. That's the majority of their societies built based off of that. He said whole cities and towns is just for the prostitutes.
Right.
And the rooms and stuff for people from different towns can come to that town just to deal with their prostitutes for a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
They said after every business deal, they end it by going to the brothel house.
Right.
So that's all they out there doing. That's what the Asian culture is. You see, they had the green dragon, the poison dragon. That's just Asian woman licking somebody's asshole.
Right.
That's all it really is. You think it is some mystical, spiritual nonsense that have to do with the Jade Emperor and the Monkey King or whatever the hell that you see in these movies.
Right.
It's just an Asian woman prostituting and licking booty holes.
Right.
And it was the fire and ice, just all that. That's what's going on.
Right.
So it's time to get right. Wake the hell up. Get right with the Most High. Time is short. There's a little bit of time left in this kingdom. Repent. You know what I mean? Go to ISUPK.com for more information. And with that said, let me get ready to play a quick song. It's been Kentucky 8 Podcast. Let everybody know where you're gonna be at tomorrow, Warrior.
Oh yes, ISUPK. Southern Ohio. We're gonna be in Dayton, Ohio. We're gonna have camp downtown at the main bus station on Main Street, right where that main bus station is at. At about 1 o'clock, be there. You know what I mean? Come kick it with the priest of the Lord. Get some knowledge. Get some flyers. Get some contact information so you can come in here and change your life, man.
Damn right, damn right. And brother's gonna be out in St. Louis. Gonna be having camp out there. They had the food drives and all of that. Come to the class here in Indianapolis, 3532 North Keystone Avenue, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Check out the classes. Check out Kentucky A Podcast every Tuesday and every Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Damn right.
And with that said,
Shalom.
Shalom.
Don't forget it. One West, I'm living, yeah. This for all my niggas, brothers and sisters, yeah. Feeling unstoppable, cause you know the Lord is with you, yeah. Breaking down scripture, that's the only motherfucking mission, yeah. ISUPK, don't forget it. One West, I'm living, yeah. This for all my niggas, brothers and sisters, yeah. Feeling unstoppable, cause you know the Lord is with you, yeah. Breaking down scripture, that's the only motherfucking mission, yeah. Who I be? Crime about, never soft. Break these bitches off. Get one through your stomach, through your damn meal figure. One West, nothing but soldiers and real niggas. Let my ox get ya. Kiss the motherfucking booth or play nice picture. If you ain't an Israelite, then I don't fuck with you. Pass and flyer through the bar, baby, you can take a picture. When they see us at the mall and we breaking down shit. Do it for the 12 tribe blood of an Israelite. When them devils start to die, we gon' ride, slash by the most high. We gon' break the sky. When them white babies run, throw them off in the fire. Bury me a motherfucking piece when I die. ISUPK one West, you know that's the life. Fuck the other side, we don't fuck with you, kind. Pop get the order and we gon' take one. ISUPK, don't forget it. One West, I'm living, yeah. This for all my niggas, brothers and sisters, yeah. Feeling unstoppable, cause you know the Lord is with you, yeah. Breaking down scripture, that's the only motherfucking mission, yeah. ISUPK, don't forget it. One West, I'm living, yeah. This for all my niggas, brothers and sisters, yeah. Feeling unstoppable, cause you know the Lord is with you, yeah. Breaking down scripture, that's the only motherfucking mission, yeah.